Okay, so here we have a Sony PlayStation Slim. What we're going to do is upgrade the hard drive in it. This has a 500 gig, so half a terabyte hard drive in it. Let's get to it. So the very first thing you need to do is get a second disk. So one, you need a disk that you're going to put in the machine. The second is another drive that you can back things up to. So here, this just happens to be a 1 terabyte drive, but really anything that's over the amount of storage you have on your PlayStation will work. So you take the drive, you plug it into either of the ports on the front. So I have my USB drive plugged in. I'm going to go into settings, and I'm going to go down to system, and I'm going to select backup and restore right there. I'm going to go to backup. I'm going to select yes for this, even though it didn't really ask me a question. There, oh, it's finished. Okay, now it's giving me the list of what it's ready to back up. So let's just click next. And I don't care what it says, so I'm just simply going to click backup. There you go, now it wants to restart. Now it's booting off of that external drive, and it is starting the backup. This is about the time that I was expecting to take several hours. Obviously, we're not going to have you wait here.
So while my Sony PlayStation 4 is backing up, I've gone to my PC, as you can see, and I need to find the operating system for my new hard disk, because of course a brand new hard disk will not have the Sony PlayStation software on it. So, pretty straightforward. Go to Google, download Sony PS4 OS, OS standing for operating system, then go down to initialize PS4 system and reinstall. You can ignore almost everything on this page except this little guy here. How do I manually reinstall? In safe mode, so click on that. And it says, well, what you need to do is download the PS4 software update, which you can see right here. And you want the update or do you want the entire thing? Well, I want the entire thing. So I'm going to select PS4 system reinstallation file. And that is going to start bringing down this PS4 update file. And while it was downloading, I plugged in a USB stick where I'm going to copy the operating system file to. And you can see here, I need to have it formatted as FAT32. Then I need to create a folder called PS4, and then I need to create a folder in that called update. So let's do that. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is check the file format because I'm pretty sure it's not what PlayStation wants. So it's easy to do. Right-click on the Start button, select Disk Management, and let's see what it is. Oh, no surprise, it's NTFS. If yours says FAT32, you're good to go. Just skip this step. If it doesn't, just right-click on it and select Format. Doesn't make any difference what you call it, but it has to be FAT32. Start, click OK. Make sure that Perform Quick Format is turned on, otherwise you could be here for a while. There it is. Now I need to create a folder called PS4 and a folder in that called Update. So let's go create that. Right-click, New Folder, PS4, and then go into that and create a folder called, right-click, New Folder called Update. There we go. Now, just take your file, right-click on it, and select Copy. Then go to your USB stick, go into the PS4 folder, go into the Update folder, right-click, and select Paste. Interesting pro note here. Apparently, everything has to be in uppercase. So PS4 update and the name of the file, ps4update.pop, all has to be in uppercase. So make sure it is, otherwise it won't work.
2, 1, yay! Okay, there we go. So it's copied. That took about, a good hour and a half. Now what we have to do is let this thing restart. Then we power it down, we pull out the old disk, put the new one in, boot up off of the USB stick that contains the operating system. That'll transfer the operating system onto the new drive, and then we restore the data back. Sounds like a lot of steps, not that hard. Okay, so we're going to power it off. Actually, first we're going to unplug the USB drive because it's not necessary. Then we're going to power it off. So you don't want to put it to sleep, you want to power it down. Okay, there we go. Now let's pull it apart. Okay, so with the Slim, it's particularly easy to do. Just take your nail or a knife and put it in there and just pop this little guy off. There, I just pulled it up from the other side. So as you can see, it's just a piece of plastic, nothing too serious. There's a Phillips head screw in here, and you simply need to pop that in. Or pop that out. You do need to use some smaller tools. The traditional stuff you have probably won't do it. So let's just pull that out. And when I say pull that out, I mean unscrew it. The screw will come out. Then you can just pop this out. There it is. Isn't that happy? Now, yeah, traditional, there's 4 screws around there. I'm going to pull those out. I'm not going to make you sit here and watch it. We'll advance this. And we just pull this drive out and put the new one in. Okay, here's one of those little grommets that pulled out. I'm just going to pop it back in here, just slide it in. Alright, so again, make sure the circuit board is facing out and that the connectors are facing this end. Okay, so when you put it back in, remember that it goes in tray down and circuit board up. So just pop it in, and if you don't feel it slide in, it hasn't. Then you can put the screw back in the side, pop the plastic cover back on. Not required, by the way, just a nice idea. So just pop it in, you'll hear it click. Okay, so I've plugged it back in and plugged it into the HDMI on my TV. What I need to do is plug my USB stick into one of the front ports. It doesn't make any difference which one. Put it in there. And we need to get this into safe mode. And in safe mode, the wireless doesn't work. So you need to use your charging cable. So just take your charging cable, plug it in. There it is. So now we press and hold the power button until we hear it beep. And let go. And that should put it into safe mode. There we go, safe mode. Connect the controller via USB cable, press the press the PlayStation button. So I took a little break there because the cable that this shipped with, that the PlayStation shipped with, was not helpful. I needed to change, as you can see, to a much longer cable, but the length really wasn't the issue, it was just the cable itself. So you probably don't care, but the cables have 4 pins in them, 2 for power, 2 for data, and so even though the cable may charge the unit, it may not be useful for communicating. And apparently that was the case with the cable that shipped with it. I was able to charge the remotes, but I was not able to press the buttons and have it control anything. So what we're going to do here is go to initialize the PlayStation, which is reinstall the system software. And it says connect to USB, 702 relator, which is no problem. Reinitialize. And here I'm using the right and left buttons. You would think it would be the joysticks, but it's not. There we go. All right, and the answer to this is yes, I'd like to wipe it all out because this is a new disc. So say yes. Now I'm not doing anything here. I'm not touching the remote other than the handle, and I'm not taking the USB stick out yet. I'm just going to wait. And here we go, software system update. Woohoo! So this should be like I just bought it from the store. I'm positive so I'm just going to press the power button. There we go. In my case, I'm English. I'll just use English US. That's fine. Set up internet connection. So I'm going to go through this, the rest of the setup without taking your time. All right, so let's get this going. It picked up user 1, just a generic user. We don't obviously want to be user 1. We want to put settings. And now we want to go down to System and then Restore. System. And before, of course, we get to Restore, let's pull out our USB stick with the operating system and put in our drive that contains the backup. There it is. See the little blue light there? Well, maybe you can't, but trust me, it's there. And let's go down, back up and restore, restore. Isn't that nice? You betcha, buddy. Let's go. This is going to take about, my guess is a solid hour. Ours is not completely full, so yours may be closer to 2 hours. We should be back to our old PlayStation with a much larger disc and have this upgrade completely finished. Let's just sit and check the start. And okay, now what we're going to do is walk away, because this is going to restart a couple of times and it's going to just keep pulling files in. Alright, so this is finished and it's rebooted, and look at that, it's all happy. So what I can do now is I can unplug the USB drive and I can unplug the cable that I had, because I don't need that anymore. Now I'm just back to what I had originally. We'll go into settings and we'll just take a look at the storage. So we're pretty happy with that. All right, that's it. If you have any questions or concerns, please get a hold of us at www.urtech.ca. Thank you. Bye-bye.